Hi, I'm Davey Coombs bringing you the Supercross action from Phoenix, Arizona. This is a tight track with lots of tricky rhythm sections, and the riders are going to be working extra hard in today's heat. We're ready for the gate to drop.
Alright, so welcome to MX Superfly. This is kind of a throwback. When I played this game originally, I'm playing it on PC now, but when I played this game originally, I played it on the original Xbox way back in the day. It's hard for me to even remember those games. One of my favorite systems of all time. I don't have it anymore, and that's why we're playing it on PC. But we're going to use Tim Ferry here, and we are at the Phoenix Supercross. This game, okay, basically what I want to do with this, it's a post-commentary. Eventually I'll probably do more live comms with this stuff, but kind of wanted to talk about a few things. Just want to kind of start something a little different. I know people do Throwback Thursdays or whatever in a lot of different games, and that's not something I ever really did, but I think we're not Thursdays, maybe, I don't know what day this is going to go up. It might go up today, the day I'm doing it, might go up the next day. Probably within the next couple days I'll try to get this video uploaded. But I think I'm going to try and think of a day, maybe twice a month. So let's say every Friday. So every other Friday, I mean. So like 2 Fridays a month we'll do some kind of a classic game. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of ones that I personally have never even played, that I'd never even really heard of. And I'm a huge fan of motocross games, motocross supercross games, but when I was looking through some of the stuff, there was tons of games that I didn't remember. And coming back to this one in particular, it was so nostalgic for me. You know, we use that word a lot when we come back to these games. It takes you back to your childhood, and I remember just playing the heck out of this game and thinking it was so crazy and it was so amazing and the physics and everything were great and, you know, whatever else. I remember the commercial. It was like Ricky Carmichael was this little tiny video game character, and they were interviewing him. And then this crazy guy came by on this freestyle bike and was like, I don't remember what he said, but it was really funny. And then he jumps. He was like gonna jump through the window, but he ends up like face planting into the window and then falling back down. Like, I remember that stuff still, and you know, now coming back to it, the sound of the bike actually isn't too bad. It's like, wow, you know, they actually kind of had that, you know, hit that the nail on the head. You know, whatever. I'm at a loss for words here. I'm watching it back, and I just can't believe I'm playing this game. I didn't think I'd be playing this game again, but it's really fun. And then I forgot that they actually had I don't remember what it was called. There was another one featuring Ricky Carmichael. I think it was the year before this one. He was still on the KX 250, I believe. So it was before he switched. It was really similar. It's practically the same game. Maybe we'll play that one too. But the whips and the way the bike handles are just awful. You know, people are complaining, oh, this is better than Supercross Encore. Go, you gotta be kidding me. The Supercross Encore is light years better than this game, and people compare stuff like that because they just can't stand Supercross Encore, but unbelievable. This game is great. It's a classic. It's a legendary game. Look at that whip. Look at that fat, flat whip right there, that pancake whip. We are whipping machines. Yeah, I don't know. It's just to see people, like, I think sometimes they're serious. I think sometimes when people say that they're really serious, and it's like, no, this game is not better than Supercross Encore. No, the whips aren't better. You know, it's like, look at this. People complain about how wide the replica tracks were in Encore, and then look at this. Look how incredibly wide this track is. Now, the preload is really weird, and actually the way I had the buttons mapped, it was the throttle was actually the A button for me on the Xbox 360 controller. And so the preload, I believe, was the right trigger, which was so weird. It was so weird. It took me forever. I played a couple times on this track, and then I think I played on, I don't remember what one. This was like the easiest track, and then you just kind of keep floating to whatever side you're going. So we were kind of like drifting out to the right, and you can't really stop it. And the reset points are like super favorable in this game. It like puts you ahead actually quite a ways. But I'm curious to know. Let me know in the comments if you guys played this game. If any of you ever played MX Superfly, if it was a game that will go down in the Hall of Fame for you, or if it's a game that you would more quickly like to forget. I loved this game. I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing for its time. Just all in all, amazing. And then to know that a little bit later we were going to get an MX Unleashed that's really hard to believe too, because that was such a huge jump into the realm of motocross games and physics and the way they handle and everything. That was so ahead of its time, it seems like. And this, I don't know if I felt like this was ahead of its time. I mean, I was kind of a I was kind of a kid when this came out. I mean, not kind of, I was a kid when this came out. So it's, you know, the first thing that came to my mind was not, oh, how great are the physics or how realistic is it. It was fun. It was really fun to play. And as a really little kid, the first thing isn't always about how realistic or how great the physics are. It's does it look good and is it fun to play? You know, now as adults, or if you're an adult and you happen to be watching this, or you're older, bigger kid, I guess. I don't really know how to say that. You know, you look back and you realize that, wow, you know, we've come a long ways. You know, it really wasn't that great. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong, this game is amazing, and it'll always hold a special place in my heart, but it's not what games are nowadays. It's not. It's weird. You know, people complain that in Encore you couldn't. I like to compare to Encore because that's the game that comes under the most heat in the MX vs ATV franchise. When you turn on this in this game, you can hit the, what would it be? The X, I believe. If you hit the X while you're holding down A for throttle, he sticks his leg out a little bit. You'll see it here and there. Maybe you'll see it in this quarter coming up. Let's take a peek here. Yeah, so if you do that, he kind of sits down, sticks his leg out like he should, but a lot of the times he's just kind of like leaning, standing up, you know, whatever. And in Encore, he didn't stick his leg out as much as people liked. Even myself, you know, I kind of wish I would have seen more of that. But, you know, whatever. I don't know, I just think it's interesting to look back and come back to these games and, you know, especially ones that I played, that I can look back on this older game and then look to where we are now and think of how far we've come, or how much farther we wish we would have come, or whatever you may be thinking. It's all personal opinion. But this is kind of a classic series I'd like to start. I think I'm not going to make like a separate playlist for this. Like, I'm not going to make a MX Superfly playlist. It's going to be like its own thing. I'm just going to have it be a classics, and we're going to play. Superfly is going to be the one to kick it off. We're probably going to jump into some MX Unleashed. What else are we going to do? Actually, I have a few little gems maybe some of you have played, but I bet a lot of you have never heard of before. There was a couple other ones. Like I said, there's 2000, I don't remember what it's called, but there's a game that was right before this one came out. Superfly will probably play that. There's a Jeremy McGrath game, I don't remember what it's called, that I never played, but it looks kind of awful, but I think it could be fun to play. MTX Motor Tracks, for sure we're going to be playing. It'll be coming up soon. I had a few people asking to see that like months and months and months and months and months and months ago, and I never had the time to get around to doing it, but now I do. So that'll be something to look forward to, and it'll all just kind of get put into this classics playlist. So if this is something you want to see, make sure to hit that like button, and we will for sure keep this classic series going. It's going to be something fun. I think it's going to be something fun for me, something fun for you. You know, if you're older and you've been around the MX games a long time, something that can take you back and, you know,
It'll be player one with the win
that
today.
can take you back to when you were a kid, I guess. So fun
check out
stuff.
the standings.
Thanks for the support
Player
on the
one in
channel.
first
Again,
place.
if you want to see more of the classics and want to see this continue, make sure to leave a like on the video, and I will definitely keep doing it. Let me know in the comments as well if you had this game, what you thought of it, because I love seeing that. Love seeing what you guys think, your different opinions, if you loved it, if you hated it, if you didn't play it, you know, just to see what you thought about it. But again, thank you so much for any support you choose to leave on this video, and until the next video, take it easy.